Okay, I just thank you very much. And Cindy, please take it away.
Okay, well, I have the pleasure of introducing our next speaker, who is Katie Friedman. Katie is an eyesight visionary advocate helping people protect, preserve, and adapt their vision. With 40 plus years in eye care, she empowers individuals and professionals to navigate vision loss, reduce digital eye strain, and see with clarity, both in eyesight and life. Her mission: proactively protect eyesight, vision, enhance purpose vision, and increase positive productivity.
Yes.
Welcome, Katie.
Did I wake you guys up? No. Hi.
How's it going? So I would like to ask you a few questions, and I just messed up my screen. Yay. Hold on, bear with me here.
That's okay. I'm having some of those issues myself today. And I even have myself on another screen in case this one does funky stuff.
Okay. I don't have that option. But anyway, I was wondering, could you share with us why suddenly the eyes become dry after menopause?
First of all, that's when we admit to it. But actually, when our hormones change before perimenopause, and when they were talking about when you're talking about girls and the experiences of girls younger and how their anatomy changes, well, the hormones affect our tears. And once a month, just the tears would get a little bit funky and dry. And when we're younger, there's so many things going on with our bodies, we don't notice it. And as we get older, especially that perimenopause, and we're spending so much time on the screen, like, hello, what am I doing? I'm not
Not
blinking.
blinky.
So that's, I have to say, that contributes to dry eyes. And just there's so many women that I hear, I'm getting the statistics all the time about how women are complaining about dry eyes. Well, we are experiencing dry eyes because what happens is when our hormones are getting funky, the three components in our tears just separate. And yeah, they have all these ads on commercials about dry eyes. And they use all this. Yes, the tears do evaporate. Yes, but the tear quality gets really sucky. And that's medical terminology for it's breaking up. We even have a testing called the butt test, the breakup time of the tears. And
So how can, I mean, not to interrupt you, but so now you got me curious. Can we prevent that from happening, or how can we reverse that? Are there ways to help mitigate that?
kind of, sort of, not really.
Okay.
Because when the hormones take over, we've got no control over that. We can get control over what we eat, what we've heard already,
Mhm.
and looking at our diet. And that's what everybody else is here, just like sharing wonderful nuggets from an eye care professional's perspective. Now, I have to share, I'm an optician. That means that I fill prescriptions from eye doctors, much like a pharmacist fills prescriptions from medical doctors. So my perspective is going to be one of, well, what can we do to change it? How can we see more? So a couple things. Sure, you can use eye drops, but the eye drops are only as good as how you put them in and how the eye absorbs it. What a concept. So number one, the eye can only absorb one drop at a time. So dousing the eye doesn't make a difference. My suggestion is tip number one is when your eyes start to feel scratchy and you just want to rip them out, do a warm water compress. And if you're wearing makeup, oh darn. Make sure after you take off your makeup, do a warm water compress. And that is, you take your clean washcloth, run it in warm hot water, and squeeze it out, fold it up either like a burrito or a bedroll or a whatever you want. What's the French one? Um, anyway, and then when you put it on your eyes, you don't just go bam and put it on your eyes. No, we're smarter than that. We're going to take the washcloth and we're going to massage that upper lid down and that lower lid up because because we have these little glands called meibomian glands underneath the eyelid, and they get clogged. They get clogged because the oil and the mucus clogs them up because the water has hydrate. Okay, so you're getting the picture. So rub the washcloth down, open up the meibomian gland up from the lower lid. It's clean, yay. And then you put in your one drop. You put in one drop. And my tip is use your long finger, hold the eyedropper with the pink with the I call them pinchers, the thumb and the first finger, and then put the one drop in, close the eyes, then take your pinky fingers and gently massage that upper lid. What does that do is it takes that nice clean drop and help it absorb into the first layer of the cornea and the eyelid, and then blinking, making sure that it's absorbed, and then you may have reflex blinking and ah. So okay, right now, if your hands are clean, just take off your glasses, take your pinky fingers and gently massage that upper lid. Just a light touch. You don't need more than that. And now tell me how you feel. Is that in the chat? Just put in great, thank you. In the chat, just put if it feels better, put a number 1. And it feels a lot better, put a number 2. So that's like one of those quick tips for that instant relief. And this can be done whether a person's in menopause or not. And even guys could do it. Guys have a different problem. That's for another talk altogether. For us women, that is like tip number 1 and just my gem.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Question?
I think so. Yeah. Yeah. Well, actually, I do have, while you're talking about the drops, a lot of times the drops will say put a couple in, but you're saying we just need the one drop and it should be good to go.
Well, if you're going to put in, if it says have 2 or 3 drops, whatever, put in one drop, the pinky fingers, then put in the second drop and the same thing because the eye can only handle one at a time.
Gotcha. Okay. Those are great tips. Thank you. So why is it harder to see clearly on the computer than it used to be?
Because they're making the font smaller, 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 smaller. And we're spending so much time with our eyes going in, it's kind of converging, that our eye muscles are getting tired. If we had our hands up like this all day, they would be tired too. So I recommend give your eyes a break today. 20-20-20 rule. For 20 minutes. Look up from your computer, look out at a distance, at least 20 feet for 20 seconds, and then just blink. And that's one of the reasons why your eyes are getting tired. I mean, my gosh, if you held your hands like this all day long, your hands would get tired too. But we don't think of it. We're sitting here, we're in classes for hours after hours after hours. And so our eyes get fatigued. And therefore, the tears go wonky and our vision starts to get blurry. Are you seeing a pattern here? Also, as our eyes get older, we need to have the screen larger. So you instead of it being like itsy bitsy font, make the screen larger. And that can happen using just making it larger on the pad, how to do all that. There's a couple of keys you can make a combination that will increase it. There's a bar at the bottom. You can make that bar go from seeing it at 100% font to making it larger so you can see it at 150 or 200. There's a lot of little tips. I call that assistive technology. If you want more information on assistive technology, you can contact me and I'll give them to you.
Okay, great. So why, as we get older, do we need more light to read? I struggle with that for sure when I don't
Yeah.
have my glasses on.
So as we get older, there are photoreceptors. And you may have learned this maybe a long time ago, like maybe when you were in high school or college or something like that. There are these photoreceptors. They're called rods and cones, and they're in the back of the eye. Rods are light receptors and cones are color receptors. So what happens is they kind of get this old age syndrome kind of thing. And this is using my terminology. This is not using medical terminology. So what happens is that they get shriveled up, kind of sort of.
Right.
And so we need to have more light receptors to help us out. And the light receptors are in the back of the eye, in the retina part, not the macular part as much. And so what happens is our the crystalline lens in our eye, it's supposed to be crystalline, but when it becomes cloudy, because we've been bombarding our eye with too much UV, uh, and then what happens is light can't get through it as easily. And by the way, when this kind of gets all cloudy, it's called a cataract. And that's why when they have the cataract surgery, they go, oh, the colors are brighter. Everything is brighter. Ta-da! That's how come that happens. So anyway, why we need more light, and we need it specifically in a different ways, like over the left. If we're right-handed, we want to have the light over the left shoulder to be able to read this way. Um, so it's our eye system needs more light to be able to see more clearly. When we are at a restaurant and they have the candles, like really, you can read a menu with the candles, or they make us go on our phones to see the menu, and then they have it at 2-point font, like really. So the key is to again make that font as large as possible, but the more than anything else, contrast. If we don't have enough contrast, it's hard to see. Like reading a newspaper, and instead of it being a white background, it's recycled gray background. Instead of it being black font, it's semi dark gray. So the lack of contrast is making it more challenging to read, and we need more light. We need more light in the sense of the whole lighting system in buildings has changed. We have a new system called lumens, and it's just everybody getting caught up. But to answer the specific question, why do we need more light? Because our eye system has had another birthday. And if you have any kind of cloudiness in your natural lens, it's going to be harder for that light to get through. And so we need more light. If a person's
Okay.
had cataract surgery, they'll notice that the light is brighter. And then with time, that there'll still be some cloudiness, so you still need to have brightness.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, thank you for that. So, I went to last eye checkup I had. Of course, they check for the cataracts and stuff, and the doctor was telling me that they're seeing cataracts developing in much younger people nowadays because, and she was telling me it's because of the computer screens and the phone screens and stuff. Has that been your experience? Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's those EMTF whatevers that are coming, and that's why the
Okay.
people are wearing those blue blocker lenses and the glasses that have the anti-reflective coating. that's
Mhm.
purple. So if you see
Okay.
somebody and they have this kind of coating, that's a good thing. They're protecting their eyes.
Okay. So those blue blocking lights or glasses do really work.
They're wonderful. And some people have
Mhm.
the yellow, and there's one more factor, and I don't know if you'll be able to see the difference, but on your screen in the accessibility features, there is night mode. And night mode,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
everything like golden color. Okay, so
Hmm.
so if you go into that, everything looks golden color. That's going to protect your eyes. It
Okay.
doesn't work when somebody's talking because then I kind of look like I have jaundice. Otherwise, you might want to consider using that night mode feature and making it go on super bright. So it's protecting your eyes. And the first computers that came out all had that ugly brownish screen. Well, those were protecting our eyes until somebody thought they were getting smarter and gave
Mm.
us this bright screen.
Well, it's good to know that actually does some protection because mine actually goes into automatic night mode when the sun starts going down. So I do use that, but I try not to be on the screen too late at night anyway. So there's
Okay,
that.
Also has
ladies,
circadian rhythm. Oh, I'm sorry.
you're going to hate me because you have such great information. But we have one more speaker before we're going to wrap up.
Okay.
And I know that I would like to have a longer conversation because I know you still have so much information to give women in menopause, or you can be a speaker next week if you want to really focus on that. Okay.
You gave us some great nuggets, even though you cut us off. It's great though. Great stuff. You're amazing, itty
Excellent.
bitty. Oh, great. Thank you.
So make sure you put that in the chat.